Here's the pattern for the box for the diorama, and that's the top. And as usual, I cut this out of poster board because I like to make sure everything's fitting together and the sizes are right on everything. So these are the fabrics I chose, this beautiful laurel birch fabric, and then this beautiful metallic peacock fabric, and this other beautiful fabric. These have all been fused together already with a stiffener, and here are the pieces cut out, and I keep them attached a little bit so that I know which piece goes where to match the fabric pattern. And I cut the doors out on the left there together so that when they close, the pattern will match. So I'm going to paint this first before I zigzag around the edges, and I use these beautiful Shiva paint sticks, which, by the way, I do not recommend. They changed manufacturers, and these happen to be the old version, which is probably one of the best products I've ever used. And then they changed it, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, the manufacturers stopped making them or something. And I wouldn't even buy them now, but luckily I have a small stash of the old version, and I only use them for special projects. The gold on this, the iridescent colors are so incredibly beautiful. I've never found another product that works as well. So I try to conserve these and just use them for really special projects. So I put the metallic brown around the edges of the pieces because I wanted to have a little bit of a distressed look. And then I just use my finger to rub this all in. These are oil paints, oil sticks that are specifically designed to use on fabric. And one of the things that I love about them is once they're dry, they are totally permanent. They don't rub off, and the sheen is just so beautiful on this. I just have never found another product that's as good as this. So sadly, it's not available anymore, but I mean, they make something called Shiva paint sticks, but it's nothing like this product. So I'm rubbing this all in. This has to dry for 24 hours once I'm finished. And then I also iron it, and that makes it really permanent. So here I'm just putting my finishing touches on, and while I'm waiting for that to dry, I can work on the tops here. I zigzagged around the edge of those pieces, and I made these ceramic stars, and I'm going to sew those on. And in addition, I'm going to do a little bit of beading. I like putting this large ball, glass ball bead on the top, and I have to also put a little tiny bead on there so that, because there's one hole, so that's the only way it'll stay on. So I love the look of that. And then I'm also going to use some small glass beads that I collected to make rays coming out of the star. So I use these nice little white beads that are gold on the inside of the hole. So they're a little bit luminous, which I really like. And I'm using this pretty metallic bead on the end. So I'm just going to do the rays on each one of those sections there. And I'll do that on each one of the tops. I just like the way this looks. The finished piece just is so beautiful. So here I'm putting the last beads on. And of course you don't see the back of this, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit sloppy. And Here's this one. Here's the laurel birch one. Love the way that came out. And here's the third one. So those are all ready to go. So here are my pieces all cut apart and nice and dry. And I'm going to zigzag around all the pieces. And after I zigzag around them, now I have to zigzag the pieces back together so it's all one piece. And looks great already. And then this piece I use on the top. I'm going to zigzag that onto there, and those little flaps I'm going to zigzag onto the crease there, just like this. And this will give the structure to the box. So that's ready to have the little pieces glued into that, and then the top gets glued onto the top there. So this is how the pieces are going to be fitting in there. You want to make sure that you position them properly, because I put the little angels in between those figures, and I just want to make sure I leave enough room for them. They look so cute, don't they? Here's the shepherd, he's my favorite. And the three kings, they look so cute. And the guest of honor. Thanks for watching. See you next time when I'll finish the entire box.